The last topic is steps to successful writing. Now that you have learned what writing paralysis is, the causes of writing paralysis, the 7 C's to good writing, it is time for you to know what steps to take if you want to write successfully. The first step is understand what the assignment involves. What does that mean? When you're writing, you have to know what is the scope. What do I mean by scope? Scope basically means the coverage. What are you going to cover? What does this assignment cover? For example, if you're writing an incident report for a robbery that took place, the scope could entail the day that the robbery took place. And that could be maybe 15th November, a certain year. So that is the scope of what the report will be about. Scope is so important. This makes you focus when it comes to writing, so that you're not gathering information that is not necessary. The second is the timeline. What do I mean by timeline? When you're writing, you do not write forever. You have to know by what point in time should I submit the writing that I am doing. Once you know that, you work backwards so that you meet your deadline. And that all depends on what type of a writer you are. Some people write fast, some people write slow. So give yourself ample time to write so that you're not working under stress or under duress. The second step to successful writing is gather information. Remember, we talked about your reader. Who is your audience? When you're writing, you've now known what the assignment involves. So next, you have to ask yourself, now that I know what the assignment involves, what is important? Once you've known what is important, ask yourself, what is the depth or the breadth of my writing? Then you'll be able to glide into writing once you know what is important for the reader to know. And as you're gathering information, this is so important. You will gather information from people, you will gather information from reports, and you will do interviews. Please note, when you put facts down, those should be actual facts. Do not give third-party opinions. When you give third-party opinions, what does that mean? That means that what you're putting in your report might not pass the test of being factual. A fact should not be disputed, and a fact should be supported. For example, if you say there was a robbery, and on the 15th of November, the robbery took place between 10 p.m. and 10:30, when someone is gathering facts, they would definitely go to that building and find out who was on duty that night as the security guard. Now, that is factual. The person who was on duty, that is a fact. That cannot be disputed. But if you come and you say, I think, the minute you start saying, I think, that is an opinion. So when writing, make sure you gather facts, and if you're putting down your opinions, let the reader know that those are opinions and they are not factual. The third is plan. Now that you know what the assignment involves, now that you know how to gather your information, how do you write? You have to plan. And planning has 3 levels. There's the top level, there's the middle level, and there's the lower level. So what does it mean to plan from the top level? I will give you an example to back this. For example, you've been asked to write a report about the sales opportunities in Europe. That is top level. Why is it top level? because you're writing about the sales opportunities in Europe. Now you want to narrow it down further. When we come to the middle level, we narrow it down from Europe to Germany. So we've moved down from top level Europe to middle level Germany. So now we know that we are focusing on Germany. But better still, in the middle level, we could have a section in Germany, either East Germany or West Germany. That is still in the middle level. At the lower level, when we come to East and West Germany, we can break it down further. What do we want to talk about? Maybe we want to talk about Bulgaria. Maybe we want to talk about Hungary. So what does that tell you when you're planning? When you're planning, you will have your topic, then your subtopic, and then your sub-sub-topic. It is not always that you will get to the lower level, which is the sub-sub-topic. At times, it could just be the top-level topic, which is your topic, and then the next one, the middle level, which is your subtopic. When you're writing, sometimes you'll only have to write using the top level. Sometimes you'll have to write using the top and the middle level. And sometimes you'll have to write using the top, middle, and lower level. So it's important for you to know what the assignment is and what the depth of the writing is so that you choose the levels well. Now it's time for you to start writing. How do you do it? There are 4 different ways you can do it. You can think, talk, and read. You can journal, you can free write, or you can mind map. What is think, talk, and read? When you're writing, at times you stop to think, what is it I am writing? Then as your thoughts come, you jot down what you're writing. At times, as you're writing, you talk out loud so that you listen to yourself. What is it I'm saying? As you talk out, you write down. And at times, you read. As you read, you make small notes as you write. Then journaling. What does journaling mean? Remember, you're writing for a purpose. And as you gather your information, you do not want to lose track. So what do? Anytime something crosses your mind, what do? You journal. You write that down. You go somewhere, something comes on your mind, you journal. You write that down. Then what happens? In the end, you go to your journal and you see what you've written and you collate it and put it together. Another way to write is what we call free writing. When you're free writing, you do not care whether you're making mistakes or not. Whatever idea that comes into your head, you just write. You do not even stop. You just go on and on and on. Because at that time, you have some inspiration. Remember we said, at times people have writing paralysis because they run out of inspiration. So at that time when you're free writing, that means you're in the mood. So you just write, whatever that comes into your head. Lastly, when you write, there's a style we call, or a mode of writing that we call mind mapping. It's called mind mapping or spidergram. What does mind mapping mean? I'll explain mind mapping in form of an example. For example, if someone tells you to write something about climate, there are many things you can write about climate. So what do? You draw a circle, and in the middle, you write climate. Then after writing climate, you have maybe 3 branches stretching out. 1, 2, 3. Under climate, what can you write? Weather. Under climate, another branch, you can write rain. Under climate, what can you write? Season. Let me take one of them, seasons. Under season, what would you write? You'd write maybe summer, you'd write spring, you'd write winter, and you'd write autumn. Then let me follow through. Under spring, you could write about windy, you could write about blooming flowers. So what does that show? Under climate, you have found something to write under it, and you have found something further to write under the season of spring. So that is what we call a mind map. You get ideas once you branch out the main stem. The next step to successful writing is editing. We edit for three things. We edit for organization, we edit for readability, and we edit for errors. What does it mean to edit for organization? When you edit for organization, you check, what was the purpose of my writing? Is my writing in tune with what the purpose was? Is my writing flowing? Is my writing coherent? Is my writing logical? And then next, we edit for readability. At this point in time, you focus on the reader and you ask yourself, will my reader understand what I have written? Have I explained all the terms that are not clear? Have I broken down the jargon? Have I simplified my writing so that they understand? And then next, we edit for errors. What do you edit for, or what do you check for? You check if your spelling is correct, you check if your punctuation is correct, and you check if your grammar is correct. Then after editing, the next step is polishing your document. What does polishing mean? You look at your document and it should actually please your eyes. How does it please your eyes? It pleases your eyes if it's correctly formatted, maybe centered or left aligned. It pleases your eyes if there is no white space in between the lines. It pleases your eyes if the document can breathe. What do I mean when I say if the document can breathe? There is space between one paragraph and another. It pleases your eyes also if it looks good. I mean, you just look at the document and you're like, wow, it invites you to read because of the way it looks. The font is good, the font is legible. And then you also polish for consistency. What does that mean? Consistency means if you have headings, they have the same font. And the body of your work is the same. That is the text. If it's 12, it is all 12. Not that some is 12 and some is 16. So polishing means looking that your work is good and looking that your work is consistent. So the 6 steps to successful writing include: understand what the assignment involves, gather information, plan, write, edit, and polish.